be a documentary, or it could
okay.
be,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You wanted to say ask something a few minutes back. Is it over? Yeah.
So I was wondering if that was not already said, the program is meant for AS level learners.
Okay, but yeah.
Now the repetition of if you are grading, I think it's as if we don't know who we are talking to. That's what leaves me wondering now, as if we don't know who we are addressing already. While we know already that we are addressing AS learner, or this, I mean, specifically, I mean, meant for AS level learners.
Remember that now you have welcomed them, the AS learners. Fine, you have welcomed the AS learners. And you are saying to AS learners, we are going to show you about safety in the house. Now, you are saying if you are a grade 10 learner, you will find this topic there. So this is now where you focus them to say, if you are an AS learner, welcome. This is meant for you.
Sorry, I think this one is specifically for AS only. We don't look around and what is only AS students on learners. Sorry for that. These video programs is only for AS learners. You don't have to use if you are a grade 1. It's already mentioned advanced subsidiary level students. So I think that paragraph, if
Okay. Yeah. So meaning, do you want just to take this out, or? Yeah. You don't want to put the syllabus topic number somewhere?
Find this topic in your syllabus when syllabus number 5.1.
Okay. Something like this?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Okay, how does this go? A warm and welcome to our AS level learners and everybody else interested in learning. We appreciate your company. In this video learning program, we're going to show you how to what. You will find this topic in your syllabus, number so and so. Okay? So this goes. Is it better? Is it fine? No. Is it fine? Okay. So in this video learning program, we are going to show you You'll find this topic in your syllabus, number so and so. Okay. Now this is where you have a change of like feeling or something. Here you have a sound or music. Okay. like that. Okay, and then that sort of you fade it lower. Yeah, so you'll find this topic in what, and then you have music there for a little bit, just as a change of scene. There is where you know. Say many learners struggle with this thing, and this video lesson walks you through exactly what you need to know for this, and then there's the 3 outcomes for this. Okay, so that's now where you go through those learning outcomes. Yeah.
Well, even if I don't show people anything that we are going to, what if I say in this video program we are going to learn about, depending on the topic?
Yeah, depending on the topic. Yeah,
Fine.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we are officially in scene 2. Now you start with the first learning outcome. Firstly, then it's not a verbally identical the way that you stated the first objective, but to remind or to trigger the person that this is where you're at. And what we can do on video, what we could not do on radio, is that maybe when you introduced every outcome, you could have a little something there to indicate we are now busy with this. Let's say you have, if it's about the features of water or whatever, you can have a certain symbol there or something, and then the next thing, so that when you come back to the symbol, to the features of water, that thing that you had initially, you show it again. So you remind this person, then you had it before, and then you have the expert there, whom you explain, whom you introduce, and you have a short chat and the real life application. So this is filmed on site, and it is as natural as possible. Okay? You're fine with this one. Okay? So this on site, you will describe in that block up top, where you say the scenes or the visuals. Okay, so if you have here filmed insert on site, that on site, you will not say it filmed on site. You will say in an engineering workshop, or in a drilling, or on a, I don't know what. A what? On a what? A lab. And what kind of lab? Chemistry lab. Okay. So chemistry lab, in other words, you have it here, you put it immediately up top. You are going to film in a chemistry lab. Okay, let's put it there. So as you do it, you put it immediately up there. Chemistry lab. Okay, so in the end, you will make all this in yeah. Now, if you are there in a chemistry lab, that's right. If it's all there already, it's fine. But if you want to make sure that they have specific things there. Esther?
I wanted us to go back up to the learning objectives.
Okay.
Is there any way on the screen, the video side?
Yeah.
Where are they on the video? Where?
Here.
Learning outcomes.
Yeah. So, so here you're saying, we have 3 learning outcomes for you. So as you mention it, they come on screen. Okay, that's where we said those points that we had there. I have 3 learning outcomes for you, and you bring them in as you mention them. They fade in or something.
So it's going to be a voice over there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because you could also, whatever you can naturally and fantastically mention and a natural thing on a site is better, but it will be hard for people. It will be take 2 and 3 and 4 if they have to do that for most people.
okay. So the presenter will say we have 3 learning outcomes for this lesson.
Yeah.
They are to help you.
Identify the parts of a fish, explain the functions of each part, and demonstrate cutting up of a fish in 5 different parts.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you introduce the issue, so this is where you bind it again to connect it to the first outcome. Then you have your, then you bring it to the real life application. If it's not obvious where you are, it's better if you don't have to say we are here. If it's obvious where you are, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So you will just have the person there if he can just say what he needs to say to explain the point. Yeah. So in your script part here is where you give where you introduce, give background, just essential background, and thank the expert. Basically, that's all you need to do here. So you introduce, then you film him doing this, and just have maybe a few questions in between, and then you thank the expert and you're gone. You're fine. Okay, and this basically. This is meant to remind the viewers of what it was they just seen. Learners, now that you know more about what, it's time to move on to our next learning outcome. Or you also make it shorter. Let's get, or something, whatever short way you can say it. So learners, now that you know more about this, let's get to our next learning outcome, which is and then you go through the same next thing with another expert, another situation. And with everything, you have your strap lines and other graphics as you need. Okay? And then you've done this for your 3 outcomes. Then you say, yep, learners, we can see why, what's important to our daily life. Our final outcome, let's look at the final outcome for today, or whatever short way that you can say it. Then you do it, then you go through your insert that you have filmed there on site about all that. Yeah, and that's it. And then you have your outro. Viewers, thanks for watching our lesson today. I hope it has feel you more confident about. There's your lesson topic. We have seen, and then you list your topics. This is where you remind them what it is they have seen. And knowing this will help you in your daily life when doing what and what, drilling boreholes and whatever. Before we say goodbye, let's have a summary of what we learned today. So you could combine this summary with there where you've listed the outcomes. Yeah, so that. More confident with, yeah, so those. Yeah,
Leonid,
yeah.
one of our issues were if you summarize and you just give the learning outcomes, it's not a summary. We want them to summarize the main points of the discussion at the end of the lesson.
Yes, here it is then. So you take, what I mean is you take basically those 3 outcomes. Yeah?
And base your summary on
We have seen about this, this, and this. Before we say goodbye, let's have a summary of what we learned today. So this is where you have your 3 outcomes, but you flesh them out a little bit. So let's say we have seen that a fish consists of, so let's say it started with list the parts of the whatever, the lizard or, and then, so we have seen that the parts of a lizard are this, this, and this, just briefly. In one sentence, a little bit longer sentence, you can remind them of all the essential content that goes with that outcome. So so in the summary, that's where you again have your 3 outcomes, but you don't list them now as outcomes. You say, if it said describe or list or explain the purpose of writing speeches, you would say here, we have seen that the purpose of writing a speech are this, this, and this. So here you have content. You have the outcome in more detail.
So you will say, we've seen that the purpose of speech writing is, that's what you say.
Yeah.
But on your screen, you will put the purpose of screenwriting. Just it.
Exactly, purpose of screenwriting. So you will say the purpose of screenwriting is, but you will say there.
Purpose of screen
Yeah.
in bullets.
So we say there, like we have here, you summarize the content on the 6x6 principle, and so you have a screen there and 6 bullets, and on top it says summary. Anna, is your hand up? Just wait a little bit. Thank you, Risto, for always walking around for us.
Ma'am, my question is, how are we including the activity in the script?
The activity is this here. The insert with the expert and visual showing real life application. So, and what this is our activity. And so while you are doing this, let me say here, activity. Okay, so this goes for all of them. Okay. So these, your inserts, the inserts where you deal with every outcome, that's your activity, those 3 activities. So each outcome must have a real life activity. This is it. It is an insert where you are going to somebody's laboratory or the farm or the panel place, the solar panel place, and where you are talking to the expert and filming on the scene and all that. That insert is the activity, because it's where you have the expert.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, so can I summarize to make it, because by sometimes I also got confused.
Okay.
if we talk about the use of the term practical activity or activity, for our content writers, it does not refer to assessment. Okay? It does not refer to giving a question and people must give an answer. The activity that we refer to, like Lynette is explaining, is what you bring in. Now, my other question or clarification I want. I have not a problem with the experts. Is it a must that there must be an expert? Can I have also, because it will depend on the topic and the subject, the content subject, whether an expert is needed. But real life situation can be shown without having an expert. So I want to know, should we include expert? Is it a must, or is just an example of an activity that you can include in your lessons?
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's very good to point that out. Expert sounds like somebody with a degree. That is not it. Expert is also somebody with experience about the real life application of this thing. So if we are talking about, like we had the example of diseases which come from unhealthy diet, let's say, then any person who can say anything, any situation that can show whether it's the consequences of unhealthy diet or the pain of unhealthy diet, the situation, or advice about better eating, anything like that, somebody who speaks with authority on that, whether he has a degree or not, and whether he's in that sense an expert or not, somebody that shows the reality in life, whether from an expert point of view or from a person with experience, or just a person with a strong opinion on that. That's where the vox pops come in.
I want to, and now I don't know. What do we call it? A picture speak a
1,000 words.
1,000 words.
Yeah.
If we just use that example, if I can have a footage of the effects of bad diet, if that footage is there, it doesn't need someone to tell me what is the results of bad diet. I'm just asking. We play around it. I'm just making now one example.
Exactly. But now I'm thinking now of the despite again. People see it and they realize what they are seeing. But they have to give it back in words. So that is where it helps to reinforce with words what they are seeing. But yes, the point is very much valid, that when you see it, that is what you believe. The words are just there to clarify or explain what it is that you are seeing. Okay, are we, Esther, microphone? Is this mic working? Yeah.
I don't want to sound negative, but I'm just thinking of subjects like mathematics. Where do you bring in the expert?
It's always good if somebody explains something. If you don't have somebody explaining, you have to explain with graphics anyway, with a lot of arrows and lines and things to make it clear, animation. So rather than animation, you might have a maths teacher explain it. So it is the same. Then that maths teacher still is the teacher, as long as it is a fresh voice. It's better that apart from the presenter, there's another person again, just to give that variety. Or If it is only the presenter, then you might prefer to have a lot of graphics and explain only in this one voice. And that is where it might be useful to have a bit of music under the voice, just to help to liven it up. Yeah? Any more comments? Okay, so now, the outro. So this is again where it's the personal thing between the presenter and the people. It would also be nice if this is from a scene, if it's possible. If the presenter was there, he can do actually his intros and his outros from a scene if it doesn't add to the cost. Won't be possible. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Then maybe you have a prop there or something. Or you can have the background. The background can still be, in terms of the editing. Background can be of a farm or whatever. Yeah, that's just as good. Yeah. Yeah. So you can say, you can indicate here, presenter in studio with background of a flower field or something. Okay. So viewers, thanks for watching our lesson today. I hope but then it's important that this is authentic, must be Namibian, with the background. So I hope it's made you feel more confident about the lesson topic. Knowing this will help you in your daily lives. Oh yes, then you've had the, why am I here? Okay, here. So there you had your whole list of summary, the content, and then see you again soon, bye, or whatever, the way that you will always greet. Let's talk about credits. What do you want in the credits? You used to. Do you want it out? It was removed. And you want it to be removed. Because at the moment, you have only the acknowledgement for the one who is presenting, because he says, I'm who. So he stands for the whole production. And he also gets recognition alone for the whole production.
For us, it's about turning to education. The decision was made not into
Let's say this on the mic again.
Lynette, for us, we are doing these videos for learners, and it requires data, the costing. So we try to stick to the essential for them to be able to learn. Adding this credit roll and these long things, we already give credit to the ministry, at the end of the outro, the Ministry of Education.
Then you have to, is it already part of the last thing that they add?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
don't
they
include
have to
credits, because at the end of the day, we want our learners to watch these videos. So we need to keep the intros and the outros as short as possible so that the time can be spent on learning, benefiting from the content, the learning content.
Okay.
That's in my understanding why it was removed. Maybe the colleagues have another knowledge.
Yeah, okay. So because you've already acknowledged your expert in the program, you could even put the name, provided it's correctly spelled and everything, you could put the name in a strap line when you're introducing them. The presenter has already put his own name. It could also be in a strap line if it's necessary, but yeah. Yes, he has already said, I'm who. So there was the production team, the script writer, and all that along that line. So that goes. So you have already something like this. Yeah, where you don't you, and what about the project coordinator, the project developer? No. Okay, no credits. You have your standard Namcol thing that comes. Yeah. Yeah. Namcol Ministry. Credits. Something. What?
We remove the credits because we only have a presenter. There's no more things. We have one person doing filming and editing. That's it. We keep the lesson so that the learners can spend whatever resources they have to access these learning resources for the actual learning resources and not making these clips too long and too much data for them to be spent on it. But as I said, that is my understanding. The colleagues can help me if I missed out something.
Okay. Any comments? Any more comments about this script format? Are you fine? It may, of course, still change, but we, as a start, we can start to work with it and see how we go. Okay. We have a script template so that we don't need to be so creative and think up so many weird and wonderful things. We can concentrate on real life examples. Okay.
Question that I had yesterday for radio. It's almost like storytelling, the way that we are doing.
It's less
sharing.
now than it used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we are sharing our information through the video. But what? With these different scenes, scenarios, and so on.
Yeah.
One way that is also important that we want to share with our learners or students out there is specific exam preparation. The same question I had for you yesterday for radio.
Yeah.
So if I want to talk to learners in my video
Yeah.
in terms of how to approach this question and guidelines and that type of thing, that is also possible.
You would do it like you have this, and let's watch this program, this script that you had here. You would do it like you had that letter. Was it a letter, no? So, what was it called? What is it called? That Afrikaans. I think it started with Afrikaans. Ah, you took your stick back. Ah. Can I take it back again? It was on you. From there? Can you play it straight? Thank you. I didn't realize when you took it out. Okay. Right. Program 1, eh? Namcol. 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 And then finish 2.
Whilst Lynette is trying there,
Afrikaans les 4.
a comment from the online.
That one.
Colleagues is saying, considering the use of data for learners, one should probably consider the size of the video inserts also to minimize the data usage. That's we're now talking about the expert interviews and that, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to keep everything
Yeah.
really to the minimum.
Yeah, so the content writers, they should then also focus on, you cannot want a long interview, that the interview itself is 10 minutes. Yeah? Okay.
Is the sound coming?
Include recording of sales, engage of sales among others.
Goeiedag leerders.
Just go to class.
My naam is Sheila.
And then more there. Good morning, class.
Here, come here. Maybe. Let's see. Pause
This one?
Yeah, just pause this one.
Okay.
Just minimize it and go back.
Okay.
Rolo, did you get my point?
Derde les vir Afrikaans tweede taal, graad 10 en 11. Vandaag het ons na skryf.
Okay, so that is quite nice. That page and showing, but it would have been good if this showed exactly what the page looks like. Nee? So it says here, les 3, skryftechnieke briewe. That's, I like that because it takes you, you know, to where to go. If it was possible to, yeah. No, I'm just saying, if they could show exactly what it looks like so that the person finds it, so that it is exactly the page from the book could just be put on here. See what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, it's not a specific book. Oh, okay. Okay, then ignore. Okay.
So that part, introducing the lesson where you say the lesson
Yeah.
topic, the lesson what, that
Yeah.
you put in that
Yeah.
text box. So that is what that part is supposed to show.
Yeah.
So one can reduce on that part as
Make
well.
it shorter.
To make it shorter.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, just indicate when you have a comment. Okay. Okay, so apologies to the non-Afrikaans speakers. So specific, it says specific objectives. At the end of this lesson, learners should be able to write the following letters. Informal letters, friendly, formal letters. That is unforgivable. Ne? This is unforgivable. Ne? To have in your learning outcome a spelling mistake. Aansoek. Ne? Ja. Aansoek. Aansoek. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, especially in terms of the outcomes, because the outcome is the same thing that is going to be assessed. So it's not, shouldn't have. Another thing is actually there's these 3 bullets here. Space it more so that it's not on here on top, so that it is spread throughout. So there could be more white space in between these. Okay? Just to space it more throughout the screen.
briewe. Nou die verskillende tipe wat ons kan skryf.
To there? So there's more introduction. So this can really be shorter.
As ek nou vra, hoeveel van julle skryf nog briewe of het 'n brief buite die skool geskryf, sal daar maar min wees. Ons sal vinnig kyk na die e-pos. Elke
The sound, sounds a little bit far from the mic or something? The mic?
brief het 'n spesifieke register, styl, 'n toon wat samehang met die formaat en
You see, this is very easy to get the real moving picture of. This is it stays on the shot for quite a long time as a photo. It's like a photo that you are discussing. We could have very easily had that same person with a letter there writing or something and going like, you know, something that we can identify with. Okay?
die inhoud.
Okay, so in terms of the 6x6 rule, we can also say something about that. Okay, it says every type of letter has a specific register, style, and tone that runs along, which is in line with the format and the content. Is this your Vedana? Okay. So it is quite detailed. You could say specific register, style, and tone in line with format and content. Okay, so you don't have to say every kind of letter has a. Okay, so this is what we meant before. The bullet that you have must have the essence of what you're trying to say, whereas you read this whole long sentence, but it doesn't need to be on the screen. Okay, see, do you get it what I'm trying to say? Okay.
Styl, 'n toon wat samehang met die formaat.
Because this is a little painful to listen to when it is word by word by word. So if you had here only, it says specific register, style, and tone in line with format and content. Okay, that's the essence of the point that you are making. But you, according to your script, you will read this whole long thing. Yeah. So the person doesn't have to follow with you from word to word.
And maybe a comment on that. That is now what happened. It's basically what has happened with all the African languages.
Okay.
So if you're not an expert, and what the writers, the content writers, need to pay attention to. So the program developer here is not an expert. This is what they receive. So they will just put it there. The production, the video editor, will add now imaging or some to make the thing a bit more interesting. Yeah. So that's why I said most of the things is coming from the way that the script has been written. And that is what we have said, what we need to pay attention to for the new scripts that we are writing now. Yeah. It will only be the subject expert that will know how to shorten that statement so that it's still giving the same message.
Yeah. And also, maybe she's going there later, but what is a register? What is the style and what is the tone? I'm told that every letter has a register, a style, and a tone, but I don't know what it is. So in the pictures, perhaps, if they could show what that was. Okay.
En die inhoud. Riglyne vir die skryf van 'n informele brief. Die inhoud sowel as die vorm.
So it would have been nice if in the background there somewhere there was a little letter, even scribbled by hand, that said, Lieve Marty, or even like a love letter or something. Because you are trying to appeal to these people that my darling Nina, and you know, whatever, I will love you forever, Martin or something. So that is an informal letter. I'm just saying, then in our mind we place the connection between the informal letter and how it looks.
So that sentence is about formal letter.
Informal letter. It gives guidelines. Riglyne is guidelines. It gives guidelines for informal letter. So it would have been nice to show here what an informal letter is. So a speaker, even in the background of this writing could, see the letter could be in blue, let's say, in blue ink, in the background. And it can be faded in. It doesn't have to be very in your face. But you as a speaker, you will see it, that this is, it's a love letter, and it's something that can make you appreciate the writer, the effort that they put. Maybe this is a schoolgirl to her friend, or it is a mother to a child, and that is where you can get something interesting put in there. Like, let's say it's a letter to a mother whose child is in South Africa studying. Remember to eat your vegetables and what. You see, it just, that gives you the understanding that this is an informal letter, and there's a little bit of humor in there. Sometimes the humor can be very subtle. Yeah? So, so here we have an example of, you know, content. Obviously, it is at the top of the screen because a lot more is coming. So it says the content and the format of your letter depends on the person to whom you are writing, as well as the purpose of your letter. So this probably she's going to read now word by word, and it's not necessary. If you have your informal letter there at the top, and that letter obviously will be over the whole thing. And then it's quite natural to add the lines here, but 6 by 6. So try by all means to have fewer words. It shouldn't be necessary to have D there, which means the, and stuff like that. Okay, so just the main points. Okay, I know, it takes effort.
Did I hear you right? You said she is going to read there, which is unnecessary. Did you say that?
No, I'm saying this is what she's going to read. It will be in her script, but it doesn't need to be on the screen, all of that. Yeah. Now listen to...
Hang af van die persoon of die ontvanger aan wie jy skryf, as ook van die doel van jou brief.
So she has very good intonation, the way that she's reading it, and it really sounds believable, and that's good. But still the wording there, the words are too many. That's all.
Dit sal weer bepaal in watter register jy gaan skryf. Afkortings is byvoorbeeld...
Okay, so now she's saying things that we are not seeing. So now we are wondering when it is coming. Okay.
Heeltemal aanvaarbaar. In 'n brief aan 'n vriend, maar nie in 'n brief aan die skoolhoof nie.
So you could have something here where somebody is saying all this to somebody else. It's a little bit, what is the word? It's dry. Maybe it's a little bit dry. Yes. No, sure, it has no drama, but it has wonderful application. Just look for it. That's what I mean. We have to make that effort of finding the real life application. Bring in humor. Bring in humor whenever you can. This has fantastic potential for humor. If it says here, vir my betekenlose stellings, this means avoid statements with no meaning. Okay? So you can have some weird statement without meaning, just something, and then you bring in this statement. See what I'm saying? It doesn't need to take up time. You just have it in a clever, just be clever. Listen.
So I just want to be on the slide, right?
The green button.
Yeah. I think right here.
Okay. So according to my understanding, so it would be better if the bullet points pops up, and immediately when you read that or when you say or elaborate on that point, on the other side, let's say for instance, for argument's sake, on the other side, the ontvanger, the recipient or the receiver, pops up on that letter, sketchy letter that you are saying, and it's highlighted or surrounded in a circle or pointed out. That will be the best approach, right?
There's many ways to do it. There could be the receiver saying, oh, this doesn't mean anything. No, but it's the receiver of the letter.
So that the viewers can see as you explain or as you teach them.
Yeah.
So that they follow as you said, you don't want people to get dry or to hear things that they can't see. So now when we are preparing this lesson, is it preferable that we do it that way, or what did you mean with that? So
I mean, make it lively, as much lively as possible. So and remember the whole time the real life application. So an informal letter means a letter that as I say, a mother writes to her son who is studying, or a little girl writes to her friend, or a guy writes to his girl, or something like that. So find one or two examples of such a letter. You don't even have to say what it is. You show it in the background. You scribble it. You get someone to write it. It just has to look authentic. And you show it in the background. That is an informal letter. That is the beauty of video, that you don't have to say everything. You say informal letter, you have it in the background. You who are an Afrikaans speaker, you see it immediately. And you appreciate the effort that's gone into making it interesting for you. And then with the content here, everything that you are saying, you have your script here, what you want to say on the left side, the left column. Then on the right column, where you put the graphics, you copy it and then you reduce it, so that you make every point, but you make it briefly. Like this one, avoid statements without meaning. Perfect. It says everything. Then that's what you see on the screen. But what you can hear can be a little bit more on that point. That's what I mean. But we want to see, definitely, much more than this. We don't want to see a gray sheet of paper with black writing on. And also, letters these days, they look very nice. Writing pads. So for an informal writing pad, you can even make it yourself in a graph. You have a white sheet of paper with a flower in the corner, or with hearts on top, or something. Be creative, make it nice. You don't even have to do it with graphics. You can have an actual piece of paper and make the hearts and things yourself, but make it real. Okay?
I found it extremely difficult for me because I need to concentrate on the stuff happening. And now I also need to do graphics, which is very difficult for me to put in there and
On top and so I will struggle with it.
The
Except
beauty
for
is that he's saying he does it. He does it, so you don't have to worry about the technical aspect. You just do your whole thing in Vedana 11, and you copy this on the right side, make your bullets, and you say indicate graphics, and then you reduce it so that you have 6 words in a line. That's all. But you do have to think, you do have to realize that this is a video medium. So you have to give suggestions for what is to be filmed.
Okay, I suggest we watch the video, then we give where should it be improved. Because some later it might just be a repetition of the same thing, of the same thing, of the same thing. Because what I've seen is that the structure of the letter has been given, and this is now exam guidelines.
Yeah.
How will the thing look in the, I thought this is why we're watching it, for the, maybe an example of exam preparation for the learner. So I propose we watch, see what is going on, and then we can see what was now missing, what could have, nothing wrong with shortening the things and everything. But if my focus is on preparing them for the exam, I think I would like to have to the point, straight to the point, you should do this, you should do this, for the learner. And this is how it looks.
But then you still
If it's not now another, I'm just thinking, if the two have is a little bit different than the normal, real life, bring in real life. Because my question was still, what if I want to give them a video demonstration lesson how to do it in the exams? That is now a little bit, I thought it will be a little bit different approach than when we have now just the whole real life examples and that we bring in.
But the reality is that it is very little extra effort to show an informal letter. And this can prepare them for the exam, but it is too many words. Yeah, okay. Let's quickly move on.
Moenie jou sinne aanvul met betekenlose stellings. Laat 'n reël oop tussen gebruik nie. Skryf in blokvorm.
Okay, that is a bit too long. It says write in a block form. That's fine, but it's a little bit too long before she continues. Also, So it would still be good if this background looked like a letter.
Laat 'n reël na die adres oop. Moenie
And here, if she says leave out a line after the address, then maybe there could be a white line running across.
Komma na die aanhef plas nie. Gebruik die
And then you could have said a comma after whatever and make a. Okay. Okay, but it would have been good that it appears when she says it. Yeah.
beste of liewe. Laat 'n reël oop na die aanhef. Inhoud. Inleidende paragraaf of sin. Sê jy klaar waaroor gaan jy skryf? Laat 'n reël oop tussen paragrawe.
This part I like because it is clear and it is happening. There's no delay.
Skryf in blokvorm. Skryf ten minste
You've already said write in block form. So it's a repetition.
2
Unless you explain what it means to write in block form. Yeah, what is block form? You've said it twice without us knowing what it is.
paragrawe. Die inhoud bevat die rede vir jou skrewe. Afsluiting of gevolgtrekking. Laat die reël oop na tussen paragraaf.
What is that? Okay.
Moenie kommas gebruik nie. Gebruik met beste wense of jou vriend of jou verlangende kleinkind, kleindogter of kleinseun. Net die eerste letter van die afsluiting is 'n hoofletter. Ons tweede brief is
Okay. Maybe we continue tomorrow. Okay. Okay, now comments. I've said a lot. What are your comments? Yeah, we finish tomorrow. Yeah, you said we should have our comments after. So, is there anyone with comments on this?
Sorry, mine is not the comment on the informal brief. It's about what Mims mentioned earlier about the data issue. My question is now about the duration of the video. 15 minutes. Watching on the cell phone. Is it possible, or should we reduce the duration? Just a question. Thank you.
You mean if the program is saved on a phone?
Okay, let me answer Mr. Mitri. This video lessons. Yes, if we work on online video clips, inserts, then we work with maximum 5 minutes, more or less. But these videos also need to be broadcasted. I cannot put a 5-minute video there.
It's saved
on television. So if the 15 minutes include 15 to 20 minutes, 15 minutes actually we work towards radio. Video we work towards 20 minutes. But it includes now that whole long, the intro, which people are also very much, it should be there for broadcast. That takes up about 5 minutes. So your actual lesson is coming to about 10 minutes. For broadcast, I think that is quite okay.
No, I only brought that because you mentioned that. That's
Yeah. No, I mean, I was not responding. So when we want to take the same videos and we want to download it or put it on our online courses, we will cut out that long introductions and cut to the chase. This is the topic, and from there on, and stop it. The same videos we can use in our online content, but we edit it to make it shorter.
Thank
Data
you.
usage.
Dankie, juffrou.
But when you make it shorter, where will you cut? Oh, only the intro part. Okay. All right. Do you have any comments before we conclude? Any more comments? Do you have any comments specifically to the format of the video script. Does it look simpler to you than it used to be with the dramas? It's a matter of those activities, the inserts, the practical life things to put those in. Once you have those, it will be very easy to write the scripts. Okay. Okay. Sorry? Yeah, we are finishing. Yeah. Four? Probably four. Yeah. Where are you going? Out of town?
Yes. Sorry?
She's well, tomorrow is the last day, and I think you know much of what you need to know. The thing is, the scripts have to be written. So we could use, those who can, could use the time in the afternoon at least for writing of the scripts, even here with support. So, but please start on them like we did together with the radio ones. You know now. You have to fill in the names, the lessons, the syllabus and all that. And once you start filling those in, it becomes clear and it may become so much easier to go through them. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention and for being here, and I'll see you again tomorrow. And also online, thank you for being with us. Please give more comments tomorrow as well.
Okay, Marianina, say thank you very much for a very interesting lecture today, Lynette.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a
And
pleasure.
also to me.
Yes. Yes, thank you for adding value. Yeah. It was very practical because we had an opportunity to look really at the realities of the job that we have to do. Thank you. Have a nice afternoon. Bye-bye to the viewers. Bye-bye to the viewers.